Okay, let us start Mangalacharana. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupada Krishna Preshta Putri Srimate Jayapata Goswaminithi Namine Namacharya Padani Tikrapavadayana Gauragatathamadayana Gragaramattarani Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grimetrapathamaham Vandeshi Gurum Dinataranam Paramanandam Madhavam Chaitanya Ishvara. Hare Krishna. Let me share. Yes. So, today we will be discussing on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. So here you can see the first chapter speaks about questions by the sages. Actually, Bhagavatam is Amala Puranam, spotless. So nowhere you can find anything contaminated, nothing like Karma Kanda sections. It is only pure bhakti. That's why it is known as Amala Puranam. And this Bhagavatam is how this Bhagavatam starts. It starts with question answers. It is something like a story within a story, story within a story. In that way it is. So here, Sutta Goswami, this is starting from the Shaunaka Rishi is asking question, Sutta Goswami, and Sutta Goswami is replying, stating that what he has heard from Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And he was also there and he was hearing that. And now he is a disciple of Shukadeva Goswami. Now he is revealing here. Clear? And one more thing. Shukadeva Goswami also is not directly saying whatever Parikshit Maharaj asked the questions based on the previous references. So what the great rishis, for example, Yudhishthira Maharaj also asked the same question what you asked me, and Narada Muni answered, replied in this way. Or Naranarayana rishis replied in this way. Or Uddhava or Maitreya, anything like this. So in this way, the conversation goes on, and that's how it starts. And today we are seeing this, the first chapter, the question that Shaunaka Rishis are asking Sutta Goswami. Okay, so you can see in this chapter what all we are going to see. Questions by sages, then a prelude, sages glorify Sutta Goswami, sages describe condemned state of affair of Kali Yuga people and ask 6 questions expressing their eagerness to hear. Okay, so let us start with reading the translation. first verse. And one more thing, before starting, I should say one thing. One verse can explain for hours together. So much of information, so much of knowledge is in one verse. And we are able to, now we are doing one chapter, probably there will be around 40 verses or something. Just imagine how far will we going to the depth. No, we are knowing the outer layer of Srimad Bhagavatam and going on. But when you go in depth, one verse, actually today I have a Bhagavatam class in temple. So one verse we speak for 1.5 hours. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. For one verse, he used to take 365 days. Yeah, 365 days, the same verse without repeating what he has said previously. He used to take a class for 365 days, one verse. Actually, this is something like a treasure. Only how much your realization is there, so much you'll be able to understand this. So it's only, that's why Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasmi tattvatam. Without becoming a devotee, you will not be able to understand. We just try to lick the honey without opening the, what I can say, the cork, the mouth of that bottle. In that, we'll try to understand. That's it. Okay? So let us start. That's it. Delete. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vyasadeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is the independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire or land seen on. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representation of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So first here is starting with the prayers. The most important thing. So this prayer, it starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are starting the prayers of Krishna. Let me start with, when I'm thinking, let us start with verse. Without verse, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. Even let us chant this verse so that this creates the atmosphere and the spirituality. So this one verse gives so much of meaning and so much of understandings. And this, the sutra, actually, the sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam is the explanation of Brahma Sutra. That's it. So which was sutras written by Vyasadeva. Now he is elaborating the same sutras to Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, Janma Dasya Yata. It's a sutra. Then Aham Brahmasmi. That's a sutra. Then Asato Brahma Jijnasa is a sutra. Anando Mayabhyasat is a sutra. So that needs a lot of explanation. For one sutra is explaining this. And now here in this first verse is saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasya Yatonvaya Ditarascharteshvabhignaswarat Tene Brahma Rudayadikavaye Mushyanti Yatsurayaha Tejo Vari Mrudham Yata Vinimayo Yatra Tri Sargo Mrisham Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahe. Gayatri Mantra also is this. Satyam Param Dhimahe. So you can see this. This Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not that in one day we'll explain everything and try to understand. So difficult to understand. And so much of information. Now you can see here what all is here. Janmadasya yato, primeval cause of all causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the manifested universe. It is the Supreme Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhavas samanvitah matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjay mayi sarvam idam proktam sutra manigana iva. There's so many verses to say in that way. So Krishna speaks about him in Bhagavad Gita and in Brahma Samhita also. Lord Brahma says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam is the cause of all causes. There's so many things, and all the scriptures say the same thing, but it is we, because of our lack of ignorance, we are not in a position to understand that. So the main thing, the purpose of a human life, we understand, then we'll be able to understand what is the scripture speaking about. Okay, then Anvay, the next line, directly and indirectly conscious of all the manifests. So Krishna is consciousness, as our body is conscious because the presence of Atma, soul within, isn't it? The same way, the whole universe soul is the Lord. When his presence is there, he is the consciousness of whole Brahmanda, not this material world, not only this our planet, I'm saying. The whole Brahmanda is the soul. So he is with consciousness. You could experience each and everything as I am able to experience. Something is happening in my head. So before I was took my this thing and I was just blowing it because there was a small ant running on my this thing. I could just feel that something is going on my feet. I could realize that because there is consciousness. The same way, the Lord is the consciousness of this Brahmanda, this universe. So anything happens in this universe is just conscious. You could realize it. Okay. Then Swarat, fully independent. He is not dependent on anyone. He is fully independent. Then first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma. As we all know that. The knowledge is revealed in the heart. Not by books, not by studies. It comes from heart to heart. And the first is said as Chatushloka. It is revealed in the Lord Brahma's heart. Actually, Lord Brahma was meditating. Then he is the first creator. He was just searching what to do now. He was searching in that lotus flower. He entered the stem. For thousands of years, the celestial years, he was just anchoring. Then Lord, with a voice it comes. The divine was tapa, meditation. Then he starts meditating for 1,000 years, 1,000 celestial years. Then Krishna reveals within his heart what is his duties. Then he starts creation. This is how the creation started. So we also, when we start meditating, chanting, then it will be revealed to us what is the purpose of human life. What is the purpose of human life and why I have taken birth here. Without entering to spiritual world. That's why during the sessions I say, without Bhagavad Gita, there is no life. We think, eating, sleeping, meditating, this itself is our day life. This is animalistic life. So, so once we come to spirituality, we'll understand what is the purpose of human life. Then we'll be able to understand what are my duties. Till then, it is just going in an illusory way. So that has also been given here. Even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. Great people also are in illusion. What to speak about us? Then, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water, this many times we may not be able to understand this, no? What the land we are seeing this? Has anyone seen the depth and width of the ocean? You just enter the depth of the ocean and see that at the bottom everything is water. There's no land. That means this land, whichever is on the water, is resting on the water. How could that happen? It's beyond our even imaginary power also. We cannot even imagine that. And where water is on the fire, the creation started in the same way. No? In that way, it is very difficult to understand. Yes, once we become Krishna consciousness, everything starts revealing to us. Then, only because of him, to do the material universe temporarily manifest by reactions of the three modes appear factually. As we all know in the Bhagavad Gita session itself, Maya dakshina prakriti suyate sacharacharam yetunanena kaunte jagat viparivartate. Krishna says that this whole material world is being controlled, maintained, and annihilated on my orders. So where Durga Devi is doing it, but on the orders of Sri Krishna. Then eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from illusion, is in the spiritual world and is in everyone's heart and is all pervading. So sometimes it becomes difficult for us to understand this when we are very much materialistic. Okay, somewhere we come to the spirituality, we may be able to understand. But when you are completely in the illusion, then it's difficult. Our understanding is pratyaksha pramana. What I see, what I hear, only that is truth. Beyond that, we may not be able. Like something like a frog in the well. That is our position. Once we come to spirituality, our vision becomes broader. Then we might be able to understand this. Then Satyam Param Dhimahi, I meditate on the absolute truth. Okay, and the second verse. Second verse also you should see here. I'll show you here. You can see how many pages of purport Srila Prabhupada is giving to this. There's so much of explanation. So then how far we should go into depth of these verses, and especially the first, almost I think more than 10 pages of purport is here. Then he comes to the second verse. And second verse is also very depth in it to understand. And who can enter the Srimad Bhagavatam has been explained here. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsanam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim Va Parerishvaraha Sadhyo Rudaya Rudyatetra Krutibhir Shushruhubistat Chanat. So the most important thing is Nirmatsaranam Satam. That means a person who is Nirmatsaranam, who is without envious, who is non-envious, only he can enter Srimad. Only he is qualified to understand this Srimad Bhagavatam. Because it is Amala Purana, because it is pure, only a divine person who is in the transcendental platform is able to enter this Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are free, who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality, distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. I hope you all know what is this threefold miseries. Adidevika, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika. This beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, and you will come to know in coming days how even Vyasadeva was not perfect. After writing all the Vedas, dividing the Vedas and writing all the Puranas, everything, when he came to his matured state, then he wrote this. Is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need for any other scriptures? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his. Clear? So once we come to this platform, automatically everything will be revealed. It's simple. Okay, now let us go further. Otherwise, it takes a long time to explain everything. And the third verse, another important thing. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, how is this nectar of this Bhagavatam? It is said here, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukhadam vratadrava samyutam vibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. We should all be rasika. We think material rasikas. A person who is qualified, a rasika only can understand the taste of this rasas. It is only a bee, honey bee, can suck the sweetness of a flower. No other flies or something cannot do that. It's only a honey bee can do. If a devotee, for example, a living entity, if he transforms himself to a pure devotee, then he is qualified to suck the sweetness of this Srimad Bhagavatam. It is something like a fruit without the seed and the skin. Wherever, anywhere you just touch, you just feel the sweetness. Forget about tasting. Even the touch of it gives you the sweetness. We are not even touching it. Forget about tasting. We are not even touching it because we are so much contaminated. We are in so much of illusion, ignorance. Still, we feel the sweetness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Just imagine what to speak of in a liberated person who is absorbed in Krishna's thoughts and who is in full Krishna consciousness, how much he might experience of the sweetness of this Srimad. So invites expert and thoughtful men to release Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature that became tastier by the touch of Sri Sukadeva Goswami lips. Any fruit which is touched with the lips of a parrot, it sweets more. Yes, Sukadeva Goswami is in parrot. He is the eternal associate of Srimati Radharani. He is a parrot of Srimati Radharani. That's another big story. So when sometimes time comes, I'll say about that. So he is the parrot. So it is coming from the lotus lips or lotus mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. How sweetness it will be. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, now setting the scene for the sage's inquiry. Now, Suta Goswami in this position is coming to this Naimisha Aranya place. Naimisha Aranya near Kurukshetra. There, Shaunaka Rishis, around 60,000 Shaunaka Rishis are there. Those the head of them is Shaunaka. So now he is inquiring from Suta Goswami. Once in Naimisharanya, great sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi assembled to perform a 1,000-year sacrifice. This is for the humanitarian, not for their personal need. This is how the world has been created. Today we are living happily because of this Rishis, because of that is why we have 5 runas. We are indebted to 5 people. That is, one is Earth, then Mother, then this is Bhumi Runa, Matru Runa, then Rishi Runa, Bhuta Runa, Deva Runa. This is 5 runas are there. Any living entity, for that matter, he is indebted to them. It is every day we have to show gratitude to that. So whenever we wake up in the morning, we have to give obeisances to the land, Mother Earth. Then you have to keep our feet on Mother Earth. And we do so many abominable things. So how much we should be gratitude to this Mother Earth. And the same day to the Rishis, because Rishis in those days, what they have done, today we are, what I can say, experiencing the fruits of it. We are enjoying the fruits. So today, whatever the rain is coming, or the earth is growing some grains or these things, all only because of the sacrifices that the great Rishis have done. Thousands of years before. Yeah. All the sages performed morning duties, offered Vyasarsana to Suta Goswami and inquired with great respect. Now they are asking here Suta Goswami about this Srimad Bhagavatam. In qualification of Suta Goswami, see the important thing. Here the qualification has been spoken. A person who is qualified can give this. You are free from vice, then well-versed in scriptures, Puranas, histories, and you explained them also. So you have understood what is it because you have heard from an authentic source, that is Shukadeva Goswami. So you are qualified to help us. Please let us hear from you. So you know knowledge of Vyasa and other sages. Then you are submissive and gentle, and hence gurus endowed you with favors. Therefore, you speak to us. Clear? And actually, knowledge comes from the spiritual master. And the spiritual master reveals to a disciple who is submissive. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayantite jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Without service to the spiritual master, without being in a humble position, we may definitely not receive any knowledge. Not to speak of transcendental knowledge. It is superior. It is settled. So how much you are surrendering to a spiritual master, let us hear. So how much humble we are. So knowledge just flows downwards. So when we are very humble, it just flows into our heart, starts revealing. And we are egoistic, sitting, let me understand what is this Bhagavatam, let me, in that way, materialistic. Nothing enters our heart. Only this material words enter. To read this, I can read this verse. No? Oh, expert and thoughtful men release Srimad Bhagavatam in this way. Yes, we also are able to understand only the material words, but there are so many things within the intricacies of this shlokas is very difficult to understand, and it should come from the authentic source, something like Srila Prabhupada, it's a pure devotee. Only he can reveal to us. We are not qualified to understand. By reading, we cannot get all this. So there should be a spiritual master who can reveal us this, then able to understand. And there are 6 questions of the sages. And actually it starts with 6 and it increases in upcoming days also. The first question, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? The most important question, what is good for us? We didn't have a question. And the same question here Shaunaka Rishis are asking. Then qualities of Kali Yuga. So less lifespan. And here you can see the Kali Yuga products, how we are. What is the qualifications? Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalau asmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upatrutaha. This is the qualification of a Kali Yuga product. So it is manda sumanda matayo. Very manda, very, what I can say. Our knowledge is so much ignorant, we cannot even remember. In those days, there was nothing called like books, So whatever they hear from the spiritual master is being just stored in their mind. Today, what is happening? After reading this, after this Bhagavatam class, if you speak, something we discussed, no, what was that? So we'll forget everything. Why? When we start reading a page, turn the page, and immediately we ask, what did I read in the previous page? Something was there. Oh, this, we cannot remember everything. This is our, that's it. Manda Bhagya. And we are most unfortunate of the all creations. This Kali Yuga product. Upadrutaha. Okay. Always disturbed. This is the qualities of this Kali Yuga products. Now, because of this, they are asking the question, explain the essence of all scriptures for the good of all living beings. They are fools. They cannot read any scriptures. Kali Yuga products cannot understand anything. So let me know the essence of it. Please reveal it to us. So that this Kali Yuga upcoming, this was the end of Dwapara Yuga, this was happening. So now Kali Yuga products are coming. So let them understand. Let them know what is the essence of scriptures. Okay. Then, third question. Why did the Lord appear in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva? Now they want to hear about the Supreme Lord. Why Lord want to take birth in the womb of Devaki and Vasudeva? That was a question. Then sages are eager to know about Lord Krishna. Lord comes from the good and upliftment of the jivas. So see, many places you can see many other avatars and many other things, but Krishna's is unrevealed. And before coming to Krishna conscious, do all of us are knowing about Krishna? Yes, Krishna is a God, something like that. Not a supreme personality. It is not revealed to everyone. See, everyone knows about Bhagavad Gita, and we say that Krishna also says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam rajaham tum sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. We speak all the shlokas, we say everything, and many start writing this Bhagavad Gita also. Everything happens. But understanding Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is only a pure soul can understand. Pure devotee can understand this. Even we are not completely convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes doubtful. Why can't Shiva be? He also supreme, no? Ganesha also is supreme. In this way, our mind tells us, because we are not so pure. So Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samaha Sudurlabha. It takes many lifetimes to understand that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, the Supreme Lord Krishna is. Okay, even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna frees one from material entanglement. How great is it? Even unconsciously you chant also, you'll be free from this material world. What to speak of chanting consciously? Oh, that is the greatness of Lord Krishna. That's why now they're asking, please let us know about the pastimes of Krishna. So please to explain us about Krishna. And it is said in something, Padma Purana somewhere, the power of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the holy name of the Lord, If somebody says that it is equivalent to 1 million Ashwamedha Yajna, one Ashwamedha Yajna takes so much pain and strain to do it. If you do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, you are qualified to become Lord Indra. You will take the position of the king, position of the heavenly planet. Just 100 Ashwamedha. Now, if somebody says that 1 million Ashwamedha Yajna is equal to this Harinam, is known as Pashand. It means atheist. Why? He's giving so much of value for that holy name of the Lord. Still is called as atheist because he's not able to understand the value of holy name. Holy name cannot be compared to this material things. Not 1 million. Even million and millions of times Ashwamedha Yajna also cannot be equal to one word or the one holy name of the Lord. That is the power. Hare Krishna. And we being very ignorant and very easily we have got this mantra, we think at what is there in speciality in this? We don't realize it. Once we realize and chant, that becomes Shuddhanam. Now what we are chanting is Namaprad, and it's transformed to Shuddhanam. Okay, devotees of the Lord sanctify those who come in touch with them immediately, whereas the waters of Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. And without devotee association, we may not get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, any spirituality. So it is the importance of a devotee. Over here, even including me, if I had not had any devotee in my life, I may have been a pure materialistic something working and business and eating, sleeping, mating. That was my prime duty. Everyone's duty was the same. Now we are realizing what is life. And this was this help of a devotee. Yat pada samshraya suta munaya prashamaya naha sadhya punati upasprishta swardhyaniyapo nusevaya. So we should be very gratitude. There are 3 gurus in our life. That is Diksha Guru, Siksha Guru, and first it is something I forgot that. 3 gurus are there. So first person who shows this. Sorry, one more thing I forgot to say. There's a meeting at 6:30. I should join the meeting. So somewhere I'll join this and I'll be in the session also. Sorry to this. Hare Krishna Dandavad. Yes. Prabhu, session ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾಗಿತ್ತು ನಾನು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಪ್ರಭು
ಸರ್ತಿ ಹೇಳಿದೀನ್ರಿ ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ತೆಗ್ದಾಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ
ಸರಿ ನಾನು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಪ್ರಭು
ಸರ್ತಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ
Sorry. So, important meeting. This is Brahmotsav. And Prabhu is also very this thing. Being an important leader, you don't attend the meetings. How is this? Okay, let me see how much I'll be able to cover. I'll be here also, there also.
Mataji.
Okay. Shows you have joined in 2 devices. Okay.
Have I? One minute.
No, it was just showing briefly that I think one of your logins was fine. Maybe get started.
Prabhu, is this meeting also has been audible to you all?
I think to an extent we could hear, but not now. Very lightly, Prabhu. I think we can continue.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll see how far I'll be able to cover this.
This is fine, Prabhu. I think we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhu. Who's in Kali Yuga can bewilder without hearing the virtuous glories of the Lord. So this material world, without the transcendental sound of the Lord, you cannot become pure. Only by chanting, we become pure in this material world. Harirnama, 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 Iva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiyanandita. Not only in Kali Yuga, even all the yugas. Yes, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is for this yuga, but in all the other yugas, even meditating and many other things also. There's other way, but there is mantra. That is the holy name of God. Okay. Then here the fourth question is, describe about the Lord who performs adventurous in his various incarnations. Purusha Avtaras. So here the question is Purusha Avtara and the Lila Avtara. The fifth is asking about the Lila Avtara. There are 6 kinds of Avtaras of the Lord. So he wants to know many things. So this Saunaka Rishis are asking Suta Goswami about all this. There is no satisfaction in transcendental subject matter. So here you can see, we want to hear Lord Krishna's pastime especially. So when there is no, I can say, anything, when somewhere hearing about only material things will not definitely purify us. It should be spiritual. So without that, without hearing the pastimes of Krishna, even Srimad Bhagavatam becomes useless. That's why they are asking anything. If it is about Krishna, you please reveal to us. Okay, eager to know about how Sri Krishna, along with Lord Rama, played a human being. Why this was happening? Why did, what I can say, Krishna and Balaram came as ordinary people. So we are so confused to know this. How come Krishna and Balaram are like human, ordinary human, and we say them as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti Mamuda Manushim Tanumashitaha. So fools deride me as an ordinary person. When I come as a Manusham, as a human form, they understand that he is also an ordinary person. They may not be able to reveal more than that. So this is based for the, what I can say, ordinary people. Till then you don't become a devotee. It is very difficult. Okay, we assembled here on the pretext of sacrifice, only to hear at length about Lord Krishna. So this is the only reason we are inviting you to know about Krishna. Not other than that. So we are interested only to know about Krishna. This is 21st. Yeah. So other than that, Krishna's knowledge, everything is, I can say, how should I say this? Even if we speak something about the Devatas, demigods, or other avatars, anything is the source of Krishna. So without Krishna, it is difficult to understand. Even if we understand, remove Krishna, for example, the same Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityajamam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Krishna says that surrender unto me. It's very clear. But there are many other atheists, I can say, or the people who don't believe in Krishna. They start writing Bhagavad Gita, explaining a different way. Then that Bhagavad Gita is useless. That Bhagavad Gita is useless when we don't know about Krishna. The same Bhagavad Gita verses, the same thing, becomes useless. Because we are not in our constitutional position. Jivera Surapohe Krishnera Nityadas. We are the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. If we are not able to understand that, then what is the purpose of life then? Then what is the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam if you don't understand? What am I? It is not just stories or something. Okay. Then we met you, captain of ship, to cross the ocean of Kali, only by our good fortune. He is the captain now. We are sitting in this boat. Please do guide us. Take us to the path of our destination. The last question. Whom the religious principles have taken shelter after Lord's departure? The last question is, so there is Dharma, the religious, where it has taken the shelter. It was in Srimad Bhagavatam. All these answers we get in the next chapters. And you will be able to see that. Somewhere I should show that, I think. Not here. Yes, here you can see the questions. So the questions have been asked here, and you can see the answers in the first canto itself, and in the second canto also. You'll be able to see where are the answers are coming for this. It comes in the coming next some chapters. We'll get all the answers for the questions that Shaunaka Rishis are asking. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam starts in this way, and now it is started with the questions, but it comes as in a format of story. So even what you can say, Sutta Goswami explains based on the previous references, so that becomes a story. And Shukadeva Goswami also, this was asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj. In that way it goes, so that becomes a story. Okay, so I'm extremely sorry. This meeting is also going on here. So this is Brahmotsava meeting. I should even be there. Okay.
I'll shift to another place.
Okay. Any questions? Questions. Okay. Anil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, can you take on from here, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Extremely sorry, Prabhu.
No problem, Prabhuji. I think
It has been